My first guest is an Emmy-winning actor. He stars in the new movie Sound of Metal, which is streaming now on Amazon Prime Video. Here is Riz Ahmed. Riz, it is great to see you.
Man. Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for being on the show and coming back. I have to say congratulations. It's some of the best news I read. You got married a few months ago.
I did, yeah. I got married recently. Yeah, thank you.
That's major. Now, look, there are stories that said that this was a secret wedding, and I know you wanted to clear this up. Was it a secret wedding?
Are you saying that because I didn't invite you?
Yes, that's exactly right. Please tell me it was a secret wedding.
With COVID, FedEx messed it up. I wanted you there, bro.
Okay.
You know what it is? It's a weird one, isn't it? I guess because we live in a social media age, if you don't like get on the megaphone about stuff, it's like it's a secret. But I never know how much is oversharing. Like I'm into matcha lattes. But that's just never come up. I'm not a secret matcha latte drinker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're not. It was not a secret. Yeah, okay.
It doesn't come up. You're not sure what really to offer. But it was kind of interesting, doing it with COVID and everything going on. Obviously kept it super intimate and socially distanced. It was just like hardly anyone there. Really did it in our backyard, which was nice in lots of ways. And I think the nicest thing about it was you didn't have 500 aunties hanging around you, pinching your cheeks.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the aunties, but Asian weddings are big. And you always got these people crawling out the woodworks who I think are kind of probably imposters. They just smell the kebabs on the street and just wander in. Like,
yeah,
I knew you when you were a kid.
Do I know you? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Tell me a little bit about your wife, if you can. How'd you meet?
Sure, man. Yeah, well, her name's Fatima Farheen Mirza. She's an amazing novelist. And we met so randomly while actually I was preparing for this role for Sound of Metal when I was in New York. We just both sat down at the same table in a cafe where we both turned up to write. We were both like jostling over the same laptop plug points, like a very modern way of meeting. And we struck up a friendship and then we reconnected down the line. But it's weirdly like one of the many things about preparing for this role that was so special. It just brought a lot of goodness into my life. Obviously, I met Fatima for the first time and met so many people in the deaf community that have become friends. And there's just something about this whole period around this film that was kind of life-changing.
Yeah, talk to me about this. Sound of Metal came out a few weeks ago, and you've been getting incredible reviews. You won a Gotham Award on Monday night. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Thanks.
What's it like to attend an award show virtually?
Super weird.
It is, right?
It's weird because no one's really sure exactly when they're on camera, so you actually get a couple of seconds of people's unadulterated, unvarnished reactions where they're like,
yeah,
come on.
Yeah, oh, I'm on, yeah. Or else they're texting someone like, wait, what? I'm on?
Yeah. So it's kind of cool in a way because you see, a very intimate reaction.
Dude, you crushed this one. In this movie, you play a drummer who starts to lose his hearing. And you spent months learning to play the drums, but you also learned some sign language as well. Was it like learning both at the same time?
It was a challenge for sure. It was quite daunting at times. I was pretty sure I wouldn't get there. Our director, Darius Marder, has such a unique kind of vision. You won't believe this is his first film. He said he wants it all to be as for real as possible. So when I'm playing the drums on screen, he wants me to be really playing the drums. When I'm signing with American Sign Language, I'm improvising with deaf actors, so I have to be, some level of fluency. And so we just spent these 7 months every day just learning sign language, learning the drums. And like I said, it was challenging, but I learned a lot from it. And in particular, I say that the deaf community and my sign instructor, Jeremy Lee Stone, who became a good friend of mine, he kind of taught me the true meaning of listening. The deaf community taught me the true meaning of listening and of communication. It's not just something you do with your ears. Listening is something you do with your whole body. It's about holding space for someone else's energy with your attention. And in a way, I feel like Jeremy's the best listener I've ever met, Wow. So a lot of kind of those lessons really stayed with me.
Did you think the drums were like, oh, that's going to be good? Because you're also a rapper and a musician, so you're like, oh, I could probably keep a couple beats.
Yeah, I actually really stupidly will admit, thought that the first time I picked up the drumsticks, I'd be like, all right, this will be okay. I got this. So bad. Very different keeping time, with words. as opposed to with your body. The biggest challenge I had with playing the drums was I only realized the night before we were filming that scene, big opening scene in the film when I'm drumming, that I was doing this to keep time.
What?
Like, yeah, I was using my jaw as a metronome.
As
and
you're
no
playing?
one thought to tell me this in 7 months of preparation. We thought you knew. We thought it was an acting choice. Wow. And I'm like,
hey,
no,
you had to
what
tell
are you
me.
doing? So literally, the day we shot it, I'm using 90% of my bandwidth, just trying to keep this guy from not doing weird stuff. It's weird, you know. It's
You only got enough to worry about. You're going, okay.
You know? Yeah.
But it's also you're playing fast too. You know, you did something with this movie that was an interesting move. I'm sure as a director thought of this, but the audio. Sometimes the audience can hear everything through your character, and it was.
Yeah.
How did they do that?
Yeah, again, our director, Darius Marder, first-time director, but you would not believe it when you see this film. It's such a bold choice. He basically wanted the audience to be inside my character's head. So as I'm losing my hearing, the audience starts to lose, you know, clarity on what other characters are saying, what's happening. So it really puts you right there and makes it quite a physical experience. And the way they did it was crazy. On set, after every scene, the sound recordist would record the sound of my heart, see what my heartbeat was like after that scene, would ask me to swallow, lick my lips, blink, breathe, record everything about what's going on inside my body so that the sound design literally puts you in my body and you're almost inside my head.
It's amazing. If for people that haven't seen the movie, can you tell everyone what it's about?
Yeah, I mean, in short, it's a story of my character, Ruben Stone, and his girlfriend, Lou, played by the amazing Olivia Cook. And they live together in this RV in this touring band. They're a duo in this band. And all of a sudden, Ruben loses his hearing. And that threatens his band, his relationship, his idea of who he thinks he is. Yeah. But when he starts to kind of be accepted and almost steadied by this deaf community, this community of recovering addicts, because he has a history of addiction, he finds this kind of peace and balance, but it would mean saying goodbye to his old life. So he has to choose between this new kind of equilibrium he's found or getting his old life back.
I want to show everyone a clip. Here's Riz Ahmed in Sound of Metal. Take a look. Riz Ahmed's Sound of Metal is streaming now on Amazon Prime Video. Thank you again for coming on the show, and best to your wife.
Thanks for having me, man. Much love.
On and on and on. I said, and it's on.